it feels like it's ending. When you reach this point and you look at where it's going, all of this feels like it's coming to an end. The last gasp of the woke. Now we worry about one more thing. We're gonna head towards our back end of this discussion now. Video games. We worry about video games, about the infiltration. And we've seen it happen, especially in the Western side. The Japanese, we hope and pray that they remain a bastion of a wall against this. I picked up on an article. I know that others have picked it up. I didn't do a video on it because I wanted it today with you guys. I wanted to talk about this. We have here an interview. It's from IGN because it was an exclusive, so that's why we're here, with the producers, the director, the creators of the upcoming Final Fantasy 16, which I happen to be somewhat excited for. I'm looking forward to it. But there was one question everybody was drilling down on. I read the whole review, a whole owned review. They asked Naoki Yoshida, Yoshi-P, the man behind saving Final Fantasy 14. He is the man that saved it from the abysmal 1.0 start, which I was there for. It was horrible. The IGN, these woke cards at IGN, tried to trap him. And I'm going to read this. I'm going to give you my take, and I want to know if you guys see what I see. IGN. In regards to diversity in the game, can we expect to see black characters in Final Fantasy 16 or people of color, non-white characters in general? To clarify a bit more, there's been discussion around the trailers to date featuring mostly white characters, and I wanted to get clarity on whether we can expect the final game to be more diverse. Note that in the past 48 hours, they've said they are days away from announcing a release date. This game's done. This game is done. It's ready for launch. I need a PS5. Hey, I am. Even though the invitations are done on Amazon, they're not sending invitations out anymore. But I'm now watching. I'm hoping that they're going to have just a wide open. Anybody buy it fast as you can. I am constantly watching it right now for that. That's the only way I can get it. As I've said. Yeah.
Remind me to tell you something about PS5 at the end of this.
Okay. So Yoshi-P, I'm calling Yoshi-P because that's what we all lovingly call him because the man is awesome. The man listens a fan. He is a fan. We love Yoshi-P. He likes to deliver good content. Yoshi-P, watch how he does. This to me is brilliant. This is a difficult question, but not one that was unexpected, seeing as diversity in entertainment media has become a much discussed topic as of late in the West. The answer I have, however, may end up being disappointing to some depending on individual expectations. Our design concept from the earliest stages of development has always heavily featured medieval Europe, incorporating historical, cultural, political, and anthropological standards that were prevalent at the time. When deciding on a setting, that was the best suited to the story we wanted to tell, the story of a land beset by the Blight, which we felt that rather than create something on a global scale was necessary to limit the scope to a single landmass, one geographically and culturally isolated from the rest of the world in an age without airplanes, televisions, or telephones. They're taking this series back to its hardcore fantasy roots. That's why a lot of us are excited about this. Due to the underlying geographical, technological, and geopolitical constraints of this setting, Valisea was never going to be realistically as diverse as, say, a modern-day Earth or even Final Fantasy XIV, which is populated by busty bunny girls and busty cat girls. That has an entire planet and moon worth of nations, races, and cultures at its disposal. And they are all quite busty. The isolated nature of this realm, however, does end up playing a large part in the story and is one of the reasons Valisea's fate is tied to the rest of the world. Ultimately, we felt that while incorporating ethnic diversity into Valisea was important, an over-incorporation into this single corner of a much larger world could end up causing a violation of those narrative boundaries we originally set for ourselves. The story we are telling is fantasy, yes, but it is also rooted in reality. Conversely, The Final Fantasy series of games have always inherently dealt with conflict and struggle, especially between the empowered and those used and or exploited by those privileged few, a prominent trend in human history. In a game that, by design, allows players to experience that conflict and struggle firsthand through dynamic, realistic battles, it can be challenging to assign distinctive ethnicities to either antagonists or protagonists without triggering audience preconceptions, inviting unwarranted speculation, and ultimately stoking flames of controversy. The best part of pulling inspiration directly from history, however, is that it allows us to revisit and re-examine our own past while also allowing us to create something new. Last paragraph. In the end, we simply want to focus to be less on the outward appearance of our characters and more on who they are as people. People who are complex and diverse in their natures, backgrounds, beliefs, personalities, and motivations. People whose stories we can resonate with. There is diversity in Valisea. Diversity that, while not all-encompassing, is synergistic with the setting we've created and is true to the inspirations which we are drawing. Mic drop.
Jesus.
Did you guys
Every
just
single
hear?
word
Yeah.
was brilliant.
That is how you deal with these woke tards. In a brilliant response, diversity is about who you are on the inside. Doesn't matter what you look like. We're going to tell the story. We're going to tell this properly created idea that we have, and we're not going to change it to fit your stupid quotas. So,
And they're going to make an absurd amount of money.
Yes, they got
It's
my
great
money.
stuff.
If I got their PS5,
Sorry, Adam, it's too late for you.
no.
But this is my thing. He sat there and broke down eloquently everything he said was in a way that wouldn't be offensive, wouldn't be undignifying to the person that was dropping that absurd question. He did it in such a manner that if you are an idiot and look at what he's saying and then turn around and say, that just means that you're just a moron, because he sat there and clarified exactly what he meant. He could have just threw it in your face and said, you can kiss the rings, daddy trying to make some money. He could have just said that straight up and down. But no, he broke down and educated this individual that went there and said, is it going to be diverse? Ultimately, the answer is yes, because it's diversity in the proper way. Who people are on the inside. Somebody's color does not inherit who they are. It's who you develop to be. I don't like you all because of your skin color.
Aww.
I like you all because
no, that's why we like you, Dre.
Thank you, Jed. Appreciate that. But I like you all because of who you are as people, what you stand for, what you believe in.
I'm starting to lose respect for your judgment and people. With me.
I'm slipping, Grump. I'm slipping.
But this just goes back into the age-old debate of they're not able to relate or be a fan of a property unless someone exists on the screen that looks exactly like them. It's like the Doctor Who situation right now with the actress saying it's going to be world-changing for a trans person to be on the show, that trans people can finally like Doctor Who. It's the same deal for these people. Unless it's a one-for-one physical attribute version of you on screen, you're not allowed to like it. And that's retarded, because I love so many characters who are nothing like me.
That's just stupid. One of my favorite Disney animated films growing up was Hercules as a kid. I've always loved that film, and I'm aware on the original mythology version, I was aware of that for a year before I saw the Disney version, so I knew it was inaccurate. But what they're doing with this remake, even I was sitting there thinking, what does TikTok have to do with this? And another thing that did pop in my head was I would love to see James Woods' reaction to this.
We're going to come back to that. I want to go right back to your statement after this, Dragon Lady, because you're bridging to another point I want to make on the way out here. But to what Jed just said, Jed, you just made me realize something. You just said they want a one-to-one to see themselves. But we can't have a one-to-one for our source material. You realize that?
Absolutely not.
That's a brilliant Lock on there. They want a 1-to-1 to see themselves, but we get yelled at when all we want is a 1-to-1 of the stories we like. Just give us the story we know and like.
There's a lot of male characters out there that I like and admire, and doesn't mean that I have to have the same gender as them. One of my favorite masked heroes is Zorro. Are you going to turn around and say, "Oh, I can't like a Latino male
It
because
must mean you're
I'm a woman"?
transgender. It must mean you're secretly transgender. So in the closet, you don't even realize it.
This is Yoshi-P. He is technically right now, he's the grandmaster of Final Fantasy at the moment because this is the man that understands it. He knows what the fans want. He knows what he listens to them. During a particular event in 414 a bunch of years ago, when you completed it, you got dropped into a special room where you talked with his avatar in the game, and he thanked you for participating.
Brilliant.
He thanked it was the NPC that was him in the game. You had a conversation with him, and he thanked you for playing the game, having fun with it, and continuing to support it. It was like,
That's
damn,
awesome.
It was cool. This is a guy that gets it, and like Dre said, he just, with class and clarity, demolished that retarded question from that IGN interviewer. Demolished it. We're telling the story set in a certain place. Diversity comes from the characters. Final Fantasy has always been successful because its characters bring the setting to life. And in 14, you can have busty bunny girls and busty cat girls. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to get in touch with me, you can reach out to me at therennerd@gmail.com. That email's for channel business only, so I check it on a daily basis. Also, you can find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can find me at Rumble and Odyssey, The Renaissance Nerd. Thank you again. See you next time.